Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Elevation Mentoring Academy. We are on term 1, week 2, day 1, and we are going to be talking about narrowing your niche. Hi, Angie, and welcome back.
Welcome, everybody.
She's going to share the screen with us, and we're going to unfold some of the material here. Yep. Go, perfect.
I was just a little bit too far. Let's go back.
There
we
go.
go.
So there's the beginning of what you're going to see when you open the material. And by the way, there's our email address if you need it. Then what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down, narrowing your niche. Now, I can't tell you how important this is. And the reason I say is because if you're too general, you're not going to be that great of a business person. You're not going to be that great of a coach because you've got to narrow it down. You've got to funnel it down so that you get a better perspective, better clarity on who your people are, right? So I want you to think in terms of your Google search engine. If you go into your computer and you type in movies, let's say, you're going to get movies throughout the world. You're going to pick up all sorts of movies from Hollywood, from London, all these different places, which is great, but it's very general overall. But if I type in movies for Roanoke, Virginia, where I live, then all of a sudden we're going to get movies specific to this area, right? And so when you're narrowing your niche, it's kind of like that. You want your tools to be very defined into what you're attempting to retrieve or to fix or to get, right? And so what we're doing here is we are funneling this down to more specifics so that we can target our audience. And you think this would be counterintuitive, but it's not. It's actually going to help you with your business overall. Okay, so as you can see, we have our little photo here, which I love. It's narrowing down as you go down to these smaller words. This is a perfect photograph because this gives you a visual of what it's really like when you're trying to narrow your niche. So you can see that you got to get more specific. All right, so let's bring that down just a little bit, if you would, Angie. Okay, I want to just read this if I could. Own your niche. One size definitely does not fit all. Well, that's so true, and everybody's different. For instance, I help gay men. That's one of my niches, and that I work specifically for. I also work with gaypreneurs. Understand that's more specific. Those are people who are typically in business for themselves. So it's very, very specific to what I do. And Angie, tell them what you do.
Exactly. And you know what? It's as Greg mentioned, you have to hone it down a bit so that you're not overgeneralizing your services. So I classify as a relationship and empowerment coach for women, specifically after relationship loss. So you see how that hones it down a little bit. It doesn't mean that I can't help somebody else that is outside of that, but you start off with a specific area that people can drill into. Okay, if I'm looking for somebody's if I was looking online for help after I had gone through a relationship loss, maybe a divorce or a separation, I would be typing in those words. So that's how it's going to help you when you start defining who you are.
Absolutely. So what we've done is we've created our own acronym here, which was fun for us to do. And it came right off the tip of our tongues. It was so easy to create. But you see how we've taken the word niche and we've broken it down. You want to narrow your audience, like we've talked about already. You're going to identify key solutions. So how can you solve people's problems? That's really, really important. And you're going to just do the homework that's needed in order to make sure that that happens. Choose your ideal client. Okay, who is your ideal client? That's very important. You're not just going to want to sell to anybody if you have a very specific need. Then, as Angie was talking about a minute ago, honing your skill set a little bit further. Right? And then, of course, the E is for embrace your expertise. And so we've broken that down a little bit. You can scroll down and we're going to have a little bit of information for each one of those so you get a better understanding. And so narrowing your niche is so important, because if you don't, you're going to be too general and you're not going to be as specific. And when people are typing in key words on the computer to find information, it has to be really designed in that direction for people to find the information that they're looking for.
Absolutely. And I love the example that we placed within this. Think of a pencil. When it's not sharpened, when you haven't pointed that down and put it through the sharpening process, it's not going to be as clear. You're not going to have that clarity. But when you have sharpened it and it's just got that real pinpoint at the end, well, your detail is going to be so much more refined, and you'll find this within your business as well.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've talked about narrowing your niche, and we will expand on that later on as we move into the program. But you can see here, we even have an illustration, what we refer to as our niche map. And here's a perfect example. So let's say you have an educator. You want to cater to people who are educating others, right? But if you're going to narrow it down, the next level, you might think in terms of a school teacher, right? But then if you're going to refine it, you want to maybe specify, you're going to be working specifically with grade 2 teachers. And you can even narrow that down even more depending. But this is just a great little illustration to let you know that it takes time to kind of get clarity. I remember when I first started out as a coach and I was trying to get very specific, I thought that I had it down to a fine tooth. But that was not the case. I had to go even deeper, and I eventually found out that I could detail a little bit more, that I can hone in to my skill set and the people I was trying to sell my product to. So with that said, I think that's all the information that we have for you on that. Angie, is there any last words that you have?
You know what? I just want to thank you, Greg, for joining me on this journey to create a ripple effect for others. Both of us have such a passion for spreading that ripple effect, creating that heart-centered impact. And we want to thank you for joining us on this journey. Thank you for trusting us on your learning journey. And as we always say, as we sign off,
Get your learn on.
thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow.